It is showtime, 5 a.m. I don't know about you guys, but we're gonna, sorry, adjusting the camera. By God, I think it's around this 2-month mark where you're picking up something new that it is that you want to be doing. You're trying to get better at it, improve it. So you've taken some action on it. You form this, you form the belief, you have the potential. You know you have the potential. You know you can do this. So you have the belief, you know you have the potential, you take the action on it, and now you're starting to get some results. They're not exactly the results that you want. They're not exactly. It turns out it's going to be a lot harder than you thought it was to become successful, to gain success in this metric. And this can be very overwhelming. This cycle of things, and something starting to learn more and more, is that it's when we have the new result, it's what we do with that. It's continuing to reduce limiting beliefs, continuing to keep the big vision in mind, continuing to know that we can do this. As your problems start to change, as things start to become unorganized, as you're taking on more clients, as you're trying to provide a space to help people, it can be very frustrating. It can be very tough and difficult to keep going with it. And I've noticed around that 2-month mark, it takes around 30 days to form a habit. And then another 30 days after that, there's kind of like this oh shit type moment where you're okay, I'm doing it. I'm continuing to do it. But you're starting to get a little tired from doing it, from doing all the work. And but you have to continue to change your actions from the result, because the result wasn't the same in the first place. Such as, for example, the show, the main hurdle was just trying to get up in the morning. And now the main hurdle is laying out organized material that is easy and specific to digest, that can actually help the self-employed, specifically help real estate agents build a better relationship with themselves, have a plan in place, improve their focus and their energy, to really help with that, as a lot of real estate agents are getting into their heavy, busy season. We're trying to essentially help these people in the self-employed demographic not burn out. We don't want you to burn out. And I'm excited because this show has been very humbling for me. I'm excited because just getting up, doing this process has been very humbling, and continuing to chip away at it. So say sitting back in your own seat, say you're watching this later in the day, or good morning, you're tuning in with us. It's thinking of how this relates to us. Are we continuing to chip away at things and it feels like we're not making a lot of progress? Maybe that'd be a good journal exercise. Maybe that would be a good opportunity to go network with other people who do what it is that we want to be doing, and maybe learn from them. What do you like the most about it? What do you like the least about it? Where are you trying to be in 6 months? Trying to get some type of grabbing questions. So to add off of that idea, today I wanted to talk about organizations, and organization meaning there's a international business organization I brought up on here. It's called BNI. I'll put it in the chat. It's called BNI. And I jump on this, and I've jumped on this to help give a lot more speeches, to give a lot more pitches, just kind of learning from other people in different competitions, and other coaches who would be competitions for me, or just trying to get in front of real estate agents as much as possible. Again, if you know any real estate agents who could benefit from my style of coaching, please introduce us. Going off that note, it's very important to continue to get in front of people, to tell as many people about what it is that you do, especially if you're in a growth state of mind. You're continuing to wanting to take on clients, and also being very honest and truthful with ourselves. A lot of times we can say, oh, we don't want to do this because of this. Oh, we don't want to do this because of this. And it could just be a story we're telling ourselves because we don't want to dive into the unknown. We don't want to dive into having to be better organized. We don't want to have to dive into more work in general. Because, a lot of us, we become entrepreneurs to enjoy the work that we do. But it's not so much that the work gets easier. It's just that the work's a lot more in alignment with what it is that we want to do. Such as with real estate agents, they value people, community, and stepping in and helping someone get their contracts put together, making sure appraisals come back right, taking in multiple offers, traveling around quite a bit. Well, a lot of this can be very hard, tedious work. However, the value of them getting into a home, a safe space, that's in alignment with them. So once transactions are completed, not only depending on your area and how much volume you're doing, you can make a lot of money, but you feel fulfilled because your values are there. They're in alignment with the buyers, the sellers, everyone involved in the transaction. Very cool. So back to the organization. I wanted to go over, and I'll share my screen here. I wanted to go over a few questions that you should ask a possible business organization before you join it. I do believe it is in everyone's best interest to try to go to more networking events, try to meet more people, touching flesh, shaking hands, kissing babies. I think it does a lot of good for a lot of people, especially I work primarily with people in the service-based industry. So communication skills are very important. And what happens in the service-based industry is that a lot of people do the same shit. Like a lot of people do this style of coaching. A lot of people sell realtors specifically. Like there are so many real estate agents. And it's very, very hard to distinguish why I should work with you and not the other 10,000 people. And joining organizations, having more taglines, and just building an atmosphere where you can try and get people to truly like you. And because people tend to do business with the people they like. They're the first ones to get the call. They're the first ones to get asked, how would you go about this? And being top of mind is really everything about business. Because again, there are so many other people doing what it is you're doing. We're trying to put up marketing campaigns. We're trying to put ourselves in for just advertising overall, or we're just trying to put our body in front of people consistently and building trust, being really nice to them, likewise back to us, to try and see if we can not only help them, but they can help us, and under this giver's gain mentality. So giver's gain is one of those values that BNI holds and represents. let's go ahead and share the screen just to go over a couple questions. And one of them is, I was actually not really sure how to answer it, and I had to journal on it in a while. I want your guys' thoughts. Entire screen. Okay. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's take this in a slideshow, make it easier to see. So these are one of the BNI. So I have to actually give a speech on this presentation in like 2 hours. So it's a good warm up for me to talk about it. So you guys get to benefit, I get to benefit. And giving more talks is definitely a goal of mine to continue to try and just get more comfortable, whether it's on camera like this, which isn't bad at all, but trying to prepare and have that knowledge and the ammunition for talking for when I start to do more in-person events. So you're thinking about joining a possible organization. You can go into the organization and you can ask, what do you guys like about the chapter? What do you like most about the chapter? What are the biggest benefits? What am I getting out? What are some of the success stories? Additionally, a lot with the pros, because usually there's not a pro without a con, right? You know, something sounds too good to be true, probably is. So trying to ask a few things like, okay, what do you like least about the chapter? What are some common problems you deal with? How much time do I have to commit? Like this organization in particular that I meet with, we meet for an hour and a half every week. Hour and a half, that's kind of a long meeting. And it's in the middle of the morning. They're like ours are at 7:30 on Thursdays. 7:30. So that's not early for us. That's not early in the morning for us. If you're just now tuning in, checking us out, because we're up rocking and rolling pretty early these days. However, for most people, that's pretty early in general. Asking future goals. I mean, asking them, does the chapter have one specific goal? Do they want so much in closed business? Do they want so many referrals? And the more specific, the better. You got to be very careful about setting broad goals and non-number specific goals or non-quantifiable goals, because they're just impossible to measure. Like if your goal is to help people, it's pretty hard to try and write down a result for that. And then it's hard to gauge whether you've gotten it or not. And then that gauge makes it a little harder for a sense of accomplishment, a sense of fulfillment, and it could almost make us feel like we're just running in circles. So giving a little caution to the wind with that. Asking the chapter, what are their future goals? What is the vision moving forward? And even if you don't join them, you're just asking questions, you're hearing people's answers, and then it can help you connect the dots on a few of your own shit. I mean, I could be talking to my coach, and then I could be talking to my coach, and then I go over to an organization like BNI and I look up their directory and I look up, there's like a couple hundred coaches on it because it represents like the entire country, and they also have offices internationally. So just scrolling through hundreds of these people and just calling them. I mean, that's where I got a good chunk of my exercises right off the bat. I was just calling my competition, and then I was learning from, okay, I like this about it. Okay, I don't like that about it. Okay, I'm going to slightly change. So don't be scared to talk to people who are in your field and you're just trying to chip away and learn the things that you do and do not like. With the organization, no different. I mean, it's a well-oiled machine. It should run as a well-oiled machine, and kind of combining the two, making sure that they have goals down, they have some type of vision down. You're very clear on what are people getting out of it, and what are some pains in the ass that you're going to have to deal with. Because there's just no way that you're going to deal with people and not deal with some type of pain in the ass, or at least in my experience. There's always some type of catch, right? But if our values are in alignment with solving those specific problems, because that's how people get paid in the marketplace, for solving problems, if you can align with those and you can go out, you can get in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people, and you can solve problems, I can guarantee you're going to make a lot of money. Or more importantly, you're going to feel more fulfilled, excited, and ready to get up and continue to grow and get better with your work and your craft. This last question of the day, we're going to keep today pretty short because I got a few other things I got to get ready for before the speech today. Is if your chapter membership costs you $100,000 a year, what would you be doing different? And this was something I kind of liked or resonated with me. I'm not a particularly big fan of spending money, or like, I don't enjoy seeing it go out the door on things that are wasteful. Not the type of person to go buy extra clothes or really go out to eat, or I want like property, and I want more coaching clients, and I want a van, and I want us to get some more houses in different states, these types of things. So, these are expensive and there's a cost to them. What I thought was interesting when I was listening to this podcast, they're saying, okay, I took it and kind of twisted it to be a little more like, say if the IRS came up to me and they were saying like, hey, Tanner, you owe $100,000. If you don't pay this off, you're going to go to prison. And I started thinking, and my wheels were turning. Well, I'd make a lot more calls. I would connect with a lot more people. I would be doing it's. And then it's almost. So if I had that bill in front of me, I'd be willing to take all of this action. But because there's no pressure on me, because there's no real cost, I don't have to do that stuff. Isn't that the stuff that I want to be doing anyway? Isn't that the stuff that's going to get me to my next goals with my rental properties, with growing my coaching business, with connecting with more real estate agents and taking them on as clients to help them avoid burnout? This like burn the boats example, I've noticed it works really well with a lot of people. It can cause a lot of stress. That is true. But anytime that you're uncomfortable and you're stretching yourself a little bit, you're going to feel uncomfortable. But is that what we really want? Is the end result what we really want? Is the end result of getting clients? Is the end result of generating more money? Because for my goals, I'm going to have to generate a lot more than $100,000. It's going to take a lot of money. But it would take a $100,000 bill for me to get motivated, for me to actually go take action on that. Does that make sense? Is that right? Why does the water have to boil sometimes for us to go out and take action? And this is why I spend money on things like coaching, because then I'm a lot more pulled to do the meetings every week, do the homeworks every week, do the journaling, do the meditations, do the practices that my coach and I go through all the time to just make me a better person. And I truly believe if I didn't pay for that stuff, I probably wouldn't do it. Like if college was free, as soon as I failed the first math or reading test or whatever it is, I'll drop out and go do it again later. I'll just get it done later. It's hard to value stuff when you don't pay for it. So maybe that's the mindset and the shift that we might need to make. Maybe it's paying to join an organization. Maybe it's paying to get a coach. Maybe it's paying to get a mentor. Those are the three avenues I've learned the most from that I've paid for in the past, and they were well worth the returns because they just made me a much better me, and they helped me measure that result. And like we were talking about in the beginning of the show, you have your belief, you have the potential to do it, you take the action, and you get the result. Well, if you keep having the same belief, then your potential stays the same and your actions stay the same. You're going to keep getting the same result. And then it's going to start getting frustrating. So we as coaches, we as support groups, organizations, we try to help us learn from that last result, to help adjust the action, to help improve the potential, to really have us have a center of belief. Which way do you want to go with it? So asking yourselves, do I need to put myself in front of more people? Do I need to join some type of organization? Could I benefit from asking these types of questions of what's really working? What is not working here? What are things that I need to do or things I need to avoid? Don't be scared to learn from other people, because that's essentially the business that we're in nowadays. Everyone's learning from each other, and then they use their personality and style to put their own twist on it to make it better. But don't make it to the point to where the only way you would take action is if the IRS showed up to your door with a $100,000 bill. Why would we not do that now? So asking yourself, what is something that we can do that I wouldn't do unless I had to pay a $100,000 bill for it? Maybe it's making more sales calls. Maybe it's messaging more people on Instagram, on social media about client offerings, 25% off of this service. Or maybe it's just reaching out to someone in your industry, maybe a different organization, and trying to set up an initial conversation. Networking has stood the test of time. Continue to get in front of more people, continue to build trust with people you actually give a shit about, just makes business and life more fun. So see where you guys can apply that in your own life. Where can I join an organization? Do I need to start paying for a coach to actually get my butt into gear? Because when it comes to me and the free stuff, I don't give a shit about it, and I keep kicking the bucket down the road, or whatever your personal situation may be. If you know of any real estate agents who you think could benefit from my coaching service, breaking things, working with me week in and week out for accountability and support to avoid burnout and make sure that we hit our goals moving forward, I'm your guy. Over here at TalkToTainer.com, trying to help, prosper, give back, help people become the best versions of themselves. This is it for us today. Please, if we'll be back here tomorrow morning, May 6th. I'm in this for the long haul, baby. A little tired this week, and we got a badass vacation coming up, and I'm so excited. But yeah, in the meantime, there's a time and a place where we got to put in the work, and we need to make sure that it's in alignment with our values to give back to the people we care about. Thank you all so much. If you're laying in bed, you're trying to get up, you're trying to get out at it, ask yourself, is today the day? Is there something specific I want to be working on, growing on, talking to? Where can we jump at it? Organizations, how can they help us? How can they keep us more accountable? Wish me luck on my speech today. It's going to be a good time. And if you guys ever want to be a guest for an organization I'm in, you can always reach out to me. Would love you to have as a guest. See me in action, pitching business ideas. Additionally, everyone else on my team, if they pitch their own business ideas, it's a fun, cool environment where everyone's selling, but we're taking notes. We're trying to learn from each other and see what else we can apply to our businesses to help them grow and prosper. Additionally, we'll give you a minute to sell yourself too. You can sell any product you want. You can come on and have your own spotlight. Say if you have a fear of talking in front of people on camera and this and that, it could be a nice initial break. The group's about 20 people. So it could be a nice little warm up for you if you've ever wanted to give a talk or a speech. Just something to consider, always putting that out there. Thank you again so much. Let's get it on. Let's get it going. Busy day today. I got to hit the ground running. Got some work to do. I'll leave you guys to it. Thanks again so much. And I will see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're rolling out. Have a good day, everyone. Love you all. Cheers. Until next time.